Hey everybody, welcome into Old Mountain Bricks. Today we are going to be adding on to the Lego City, set number 60335. This Lego City set is known as the train station. However, the main thing about this set is actually this fun bus that's included, as well as a train station, a few other things for the Lego City train system. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to do a quick speed build of this set. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts and reviews of the build process and then take a detailed look at it. And then we're going to find a place for it in the Lego City. Let's go ahead and pop this thing open. Okay, as we get started with the build here, I think the time-lapse had a few issues, but you can't really go back and re-record some of it, so we'll just kind of keep pressing on. You kind of start by building some of the side builds first, like this little utility truck, which was really fun to put together, and then I believe you start on the actual bus, which is one of the main reasons I bought this set. I like some of the pieces in order to kind of give it an elevated look inside the bus, and some of the use of the other pieces in order to kind of extend it, but beyond what you think it might be when you're doing it. But it was really fun to put together, and I think it is going to look great in Lego City. I love kind of the use of like the darker glass pieces as well. Lego definitely needs to do some more kind of city vehicles. I know they've been doing like the food trucks the last few years, but keep expanding that even more. But the next thing you start on is the actual train station itself. A lot of kind of big pieces as you put this together. It was bigger than I thought it would be, but somehow still kind of an awkward size length when I'm putting it all together by studs. Did have some interesting kind of snot techniques used with like the new kind of corner pieces in order to kind of do a lot of the roofs I thought were interesting. I love the use of the color as well, with kind of like the teal and the lime green. I thought that was a fun use on this set, and the little mural you put together there, and then with some of the stickers and the masonry bricks, I think it all comes together and looks pretty good and kind of pops in a Lego City without being too boring with just a bunch of gray on gray or something like that. But I thought it was a fun little build, putting it all together and the details added make it just enough to where I wanted to pick this set up. Okay, but let's go ahead and finish this thing up and take a detailed look all together now. All right, and here it is, the train station, also known as the bus station to some folks. You can see it's a very horizontal build, meaning, it takes up a lot of space on the table here. So to get everything in one shot, you got to really back up. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of those closer details. First thing we're going to take a look at, it does come with 6 minifigures. Looks like 2 train station workers, 1 of the construction workers, and then 3 residents. That person also on the end has a different hair piece. He does come with a bike, which I'll show you in a moment. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other details of the build. One of the first things you do is you put together this right here, which is like a utility vehicle that has the ability to go on the train tracks, if I can kind of show you with those wheel sections right there, so it can kind of just roll along like that. It also comes with a little porta potty or porta john, whatever you want to call it, on the back here that can be removed and put down. Inside, you'll see a number of details added for what's been going on in there. It looks like they are also out of toilet paper. But this does have a little lift arm in here along with some of their tools like the broom, shovel, mop, hammer, and a wrench and everything. So this right here can be adjusted in order to get to some higher places if needed as well. But I like that that is able to go on the train track like that as like a utility vehicle. But that can just go off the side here. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is the actual station itself. This is attached to these train tracks. Of course, if you place it in your own Lego City, you might not need to put it right here. So eventually, wherever I put it, I'll take this part off for now because I don't have a need for it to go onto the ground like that. But I do love this little side build over here with the like the train crossing stop with this little bar that's able to move up and down on each side and a white line in the road in order to indicate where to stop. Plus the tiling looks kind of nice, so that part might be integrated somewhere into my city for sure. But let's go ahead and take a look at this another side build, which is one of the main reasons I even bought this set, which is this Lego City bus. So as it comes over, you can see a number of sticker details up front there, like a license plate and like the Lego train icon or transportation icon for this town center. That is 43 on the side. And here's the bike that belongs to that one minifigure. It is able to just go on the back of the bus like that. You just pick it up, It's got some studs in there that kind of hold it in place, so when he gets on the bus, he can just hook it like that. So the main play features on the bus, it does have these two doors that open right here with a little bit lower thing, so you can kind of get your minifigures in there. And then, of course, a main entrance for the door with a little printed icon there where you can, I guess, pay your fare to get on the bus. The top of the bus can also be removed if I get a good angle on it, using kind of right here in order to open that up. You can see it kind of has the ingot pieces. The middle can also come out, but you can kind of get the idea. We've got a number of seats in there for minifigures to be able to sit on. But this is a nice little build. It's not too big or anything. Here's the other side of the bus, just so you can see that. But I really enjoy it, and it adds that extra detail to the city. I'm excited to be able to have this in here. A lot of folks called this set a bus station set because it does not come with a train, but also included a bus. So I guess if you really wanted to, you could just put this in your Lego city without the train tracks and just call it some sort of bus station as well, because you can do whatever you want. Some of the other details included on this set, you see this kind of small tree build with the bluebird, another sticker right there for the bench, a little ATM type thing, maybe for tickets, because in here you can also buy some tickets, and we'll flip that around in a second, but you can see kind of out front, and it's got the logo again up top. Some more sticker pieces, kind of saying, you know, where it's going with the town center and everything on each side. But that's kind of the front. It has some more sticker pieces where it says cafe and tickets right there. So let's switch this thing around. So when it's all attached like this, it is quite large. That's why I don't know if I would recommend it for everyone. You really got to spin this whole thing just like that in order to kind of see some of the back details. In here, you can see it does have like that sticker element with some of the train lines in there where someone can come in and buy tickets, I believe. You can see a little ticket stub there, a little cocoa machine, and a croissant, because the other side is just like a little cafe that people could come in and buy things at. So your workers would stand here, and then the folks would just kind of come in on each side there. It does have a little ramp. You know, anytime they use the stud ramps and stuff, it always looks a little strange, but I think it still looks pretty good. And up top, you can place like a train organizer. I wouldn't call them a conductor because they're not driving the train, but they make sure that people are coming into the station and everything looks okay and doesn't cause any sort of issues. So you can have one of the employees kind of sitting up there and the other one driving the bus. But that's kind of the back detail here. You do use some nice masonry bricks kind of on the sides of these as well to kind of give you some more detail that way. But otherwise, not a whole lot of detail. Of course, this is just a city set, so not expecting a ton of detail in it. Only thing that's kind of strange, these doors seem to just fly open anytime I move it, so there's not a lot of friction in there. So you can see I'm trying to close it and unless I just hold it closed like that. But otherwise, it's a fun set that I'm excited to have somewhere in our city, especially as we integrate more train options into our city. Let's do some final thoughts on the set here. Okay, so what are our final thoughts on the set? I think, again, it is kind of like your basic Lego city set, but I thought there were a number of features like these side builds, like this kind of utility car and the bus that I think are going to be really helpful for our Lego city to add some of those details that you always need to really have a Lego city come to life. I think it does come with a good minifigure selection as well. Otherwise, the train station is nice. It does have the open back kind of dollhouse concept to it, but maybe one day we'll be able to finish that up, so not a top priority for us, but I think we will place it somewhere in the Lego city just for now, just to add some more detail while we continue to add more buildings and such in the coming videos, so make sure you do stay tuned for that. But I picked this up around Black Friday or so I know I got some sort of discount out. I don't remember if it was one of the ones that was eligible for double points and maybe 20% off, so that was the time you pick up these kind of sets. Not something I wanted to get day one or anything like that. So if you see it on a discount, it did come out sometime last year, it could be worth picking up. But otherwise, I might not pay full price for this, but again, if you find a good deal, probably worth picking up if you're into Lego City and such. And last thing we're going to do, we're going to go place it in our Lego City. So if we can at least find a temporary position for it, I think that'll be good. But let's go ahead and find a place for our train station. All right, and here's kind of the current layout of our Lego city here. I don't believe we've had any major changes since we kind of put our RV and nature area over there. So right now, let's take a look at kind of what the train yard looks like at the moment. So over here, we've got kind of this switch track that just leads to that little thing over there and like the forklift. So isn't really what I would call a train station by any means, and not one that kind of integrates with a road like the one there. So the closest thing we have is kind of right here by the Avengers Tower, but if we put it here, the train station would need to be right up against the train tracks, but that's just not how our Lego city is set up with the road so far apart there. So it would really need to be up against the train tracks right here, but it wouldn't really have the space. The road would have to end here before it could ever do that. So I'm not sure we want to do that in particular, but there's no other way to really connect it to our train track. But let's bring it over here and take a look. So here's the train station. I still have the other piece of train track running along, but I wanted to see I wanted you to see what it looked like before I kind of take that off. I always need more straight track, so let's go ahead and pop that off of there. So yeah, it just kind of pops off just like that. So now, just as an idea, if I put it right there, I guess you would say, it is kind of awkward because, I mean, the road is going to need to stop in some capacity here, and it just won't really make sense to have a train station that close without kind of a platform, because, I mean, when the train comes by, I have not built my passenger train yet, but just to get an idea, I guess, I mean, that's a pretty sizable gap between it too, which of course is so the train can pass by, but I'm not sure where else we would put it where it could look slightly functionable. Because if we place it back like we're planning on having our Lego city set up with having like the green space and then track and things like that, so I mean, it could make sense like that because we'll have kind of like a grass area going along this part of the road and as well. But it doesn't make sense with the end of the street is the problem. Another spot we could maybe place it where we just did our nature area, but that doesn't make much sense. Otherwise, we would have to turn it around, which is not the presentable part if we put it along the back or something. So maybe one day we will do that. But for now, I think this will be the best position of it. So let's try and tack it down and see what it looks like first. Okay, so we do have it slightly tacked down right here. The problem is it is larger than a normal 32 by 32 base plate, so I don't want to give it more space as far as any other major integration for the moment. I think this will be an okay train station for now. We might need to scoot it down a few studs, but we'll just have to see kind of what happens as we develop our superhero area right in here. So I don't want to do anything too crazy, but for now, they can just walk right on over and get on the train. But we've got the bus loaded up with the driver and the one passenger with the bike on the back. So not a lot of space on the roads at the moment. But for now, we're going to put it kind of coming down Main Street, just like that. I think that looks pretty good. And this little utility truck's just going to be chilling right here for now with the little porta potty until we find a better place to kind of integrate a train yard and such. But he can go flying down the railroad track if he ever needs to. But we've got the figure in there to control the trains and the two passengers ready to board when the time comes. But I think for now it looks okay over there. Nothing too substantial when you see it sitting next to the Avengers Tower, of course. But I think that looks good. But I think that's going to do it for today here on Old Mountain Bricks. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, have a good one.